Once upon a time, there was a man named Steve who drove a garbage truck across the streets of San Diego. And every day he would drive through one part of the city, and his big garbage truck would reach out its big truck arm, pick up a garbage can, lift it high up into the air, and dump its contents into the truck. And every day he rode through a different part of San Diego, and he would pick up the garbage cans, dump them in his truck until his truck was full. And then he would take his truck to the dump and dump them all out. Well, this is his story. Once upon a time, Mr. Steve was asked if he could drive out into the mountains to pick up a garbage can. And he said, "Yes, I will drive all the way across the hot desert and into the mountains where the roads wind up and up and up until it gets so very cold that there's snow on the ground." And so he drove across the hot desert up into the mountains until there was snow on the ground. And he saw the campsite that had lots of garbage cans that were full from campers. And he got out of his truck and he went to go move a garbage can to the curb so he could get it with his truck, when he saw a big grizzly bear. "Roar!" the bear growled. Steve was scared. He didn't know what to do. He looked at his truck and he looked at the bear. The bear was close. His truck was closer. So he turned the garbage can in front of him and pushed it towards the bear and ran towards his truck. And the bear started to chase him, and it bumped into the garbage can and had to run around the garbage can. And by that time, Steve had crawled into his truck and rolled up the window. And the bear tried to get up at Steve, but it couldn't reach. So Steve pulled forward a little bit with his truck, and then that scared the bear and it ran away. So Steve saw the bear run off into the woods and looked and wondered what he was supposed to do, because he didn't pick up the garbage can yet, and it was still too far away from the curb for him to lift up and put in his truck. Steve thought. He tried to calm down because he was very scared of the bear. And he thought, what would my friend little Alex do? Well, I have to be smart. I don't want to be hurt by the bear, but I also have to have courage to do my job. Steve said, well, I think Alex would think about it, and then Alex would probably get the garbage box, the garbage can, if it's safe. So Steve looked all around, just like he would look when crossing a street, to his left and his right to see if there was any cars, but this time he was checking to see if there were any bears. And because the snow was white on the ground and the bear was brown, he thought he would be able to see the bear pretty easily. But the bear must be very far away. So he got back out of his truck and jogged to the garbage can, looking everywhere. And then he pulled the garbage can closer to the truck, and he thought he heard a noise. So he ran back into his truck and looked all around. There was no bear. He didn't see anything. So he got back out of his truck and brought the can closer to his truck until it was within the arm of the truck's reach. And he ran back into his truck, used the arm on his truck to pick up the can, put it high into the air, and dump inside of it. He pushed the box down And then he thought to himself, you know, that was so loud, it might have scared the bear away. So he looked and looked and looked and didn't see a bear. And he put the can down. He got out of his truck and pushed the garbage can back to the area where the other cans were. And he grabbed the next one and rolled it back to his truck, looking very carefully, wondering if the bear was back. And he got back in his truck, lifted this one high in the air, dump, 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 and then set it back on the ground. He looked around. He didn't see a bear. And he did it again and again and again until he emptied all 20 garbage cans. And he got back in his truck and he said, whew. He was so tired from all of that work that he decided to drive away, get even further away from where the bear was. And when he went back to the dump and dumped all the garbage at the dump, and then he went back to his house and he took off his shoes, and because he was working with garbage, he went to fall asleep, or he went to go take a shower. And after he took a shower, he decided it was time to brush his teeth, and then it was time to go to sleep. So Steve was all clean from taking a shower. His teeth were all clean from brushing his teeth. So he crawled into his bed, and he put his head on his pillow. He cuddled up underneath his blanket, and he closed his eyes, and he thought about his friend little Alex and how he would tell him the story of the bear. But first, Steve yawned in his bed. First he closed his eyes, and he decided to fall asleep.